Hey guys, so just a quick little blurb before the actual full video starts because you're going to see a switch in background here in a second. I just realized that I forgot at the beginning to explain the results of the self work. So I'm just going to do that really quick and then the video will start. So the results of this mental cleanup, self work, inner work that I talk about and explain what the process is, it's really, really, really cool, guys. I'm not kidding when I say you really don't have to ever be in pain again. I still have work to do because I still have my waves. However, the waves are more daily. This is so cool. So essentially, and I know I've talked about this in other videos, but because it's relevant to this and just to explain again, it's literally, and it's been like this like daily now for me since like just after Halloween. So I'm super excited and thankful for that, and it just seems to be getting stronger and more permanent, so that is amazing. So essentially, and again, the like I said, like I say in the next part that you're gonna watch after this clip, I do say, I know this is just beginning. What is more of what's gonna come through? I know it's gonna be really big and huge and beautiful and amazing, and this is just the beginning of it. With that being said, some of the results of this work that I talk about, and yes, it takes hard work and layers, but some of the results of the self work, which I might mention near the end, but I really wanted to put it at the beginning and actually make sure that I properly talk about this, is so it's so fucking cool, you guys. I literally want to call it God source, which is what it technically is, which when I say that, I acknowledge that is what I truly am. I'm one with God source, not like Tally, like this character, body, name, all of that. Like this is not what I truly am. It's a pretend character that God source is playing pretend to play. And I recognize that. So when I say God source, it feels like God source is doing this. I'm saying that with recognizing I am one with God source and whatnot, and I'm allowing myself to do this. So it's getting to a point where I am literally starting to have my not good feelings. It feels literally like this force that I want to call, which I know because it's God's source, what I truly am, literally sucking these not good feelings out of me. Like before I can even register that I'm having them. Oftentimes, sometimes I start to register a little bit, but oftentimes, even before I can fully register, it's being sucked out of me. Even my ability to cry is being sucked out of me. My ability to think negative, that has started. That hasn't been a whole lot yet, but I have had moments where I'm just literally not able. The ability to think negative is just gone. And it's just such a huge relief. And the thing is what's in place of this stuff being sucked out of me is calm, peace, neutrality. And then now I'm also starting to feel happiness and joy and even a little bit of excitement and laughter. It's so cool. And again, this is not a judgment toward medication or others who take it. Like if meds work for you and that's what you're being called to do, absolutely. Yes, I will always advise make sure you're doing mental cleanup along with it, because the medication is it's just a band-aid solution, really. Like you got to actually do your self-work. And I mean, I feel like even with like human psychology and whatnot, like you're gonna get that, like sure, be on meds, but you got to do some self-work too, because the meds just kind of block. You got to actually work on yourself to switch around your thoughts and how you operate, right? So for me personally, this is not a judgment on that stuff. For me personally, my experience, because I've been on antidepressants before and I've explained some of my videos, it's like it builds up this physical ceiling right in my chest here, and all my not good feelings build up, and it fucking sits here and I can't release it. I can't cry. All it did is block my ability to release and feel on a certain level, but I was still feeling it, but it's just sitting here. And there's like yes, it brings a detachment, but it physically starts to hurt. So emotionally, I'm not necessarily hurting, but physically I'm feeling these emotions. They're just being fucking blocked. This process, like I talk about in there, the first step is fully feeling it. So I'm not going to get into that right now. That's in this clip coming up. But that's why when I'm in this space where these not good feelings are being sucked out of me, in place, I'm feeling calm, peace, neutrality, happiness, joy, excitement, laughter, because I have done so much releasing. I have let myself fully feel it, and then I surrender it. And so then I allow what's truly here. There's now this space where what's truly here is able to actually shine through, because what I've been using to block that, I've now removed that block. So this is a part of the results, the self-work that does come on. Like and then that's the space where it really hits you. Oh my God, I really never needed to be in pain, and I never need to be in pain again. Even physically, yes, like I'm able to start taking my own headaches away, and if I accidentally burn myself, or if my skin's itchy from an allergic reaction to something or whatever, like that's again not permanent and whatnot yet, but I've started bringing that online. So so it really is, and then you can also see, because there's moments where I'm feeling the misery being sucked out of me, and I'm noticing I'm trying to fucking cling to it, I'm trying to hold on to it, and then that's when it hits me, oh my god, I really do choose to be miserable. So these are the results. If you That's why I'm saying, if you don't want to be in pain anymore, if you want to navigate with that illusion, that's totally cool. Like I say at the beginning of this, if you want to navigate with the illusion of pain and separation and whatnot, like that's totally cool. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying this is, like I say at the beginning of this next clip, this is for people like myself who recognize the truth of what this is, which is our true state of being is peace, calm, love, joy. And I'm done with being in pain, because it's not that it's bad or wrong, but it doesn't feel good. And I'm tired of being fucking miserable. I don't want to be miserable all the time. I don't want to feel loneliness and sadness all the time. I don't want to feel grief and loss, especially when it's becoming so much more obvious. Everyone is literally right here with me. Even those who are incarnated in a human form or animal form or whatever, literally, I will start channeling them because they're right here with me. We're not actually separate, and we're not these solid physical characters. It's a pretend gameplay. And what's truly here that looks invisible can be just as solid as what we are. Our loved ones, where we're in the illusion of a death, it's actually, they just have me look at the time right now, it's exactly 3:33, so there we go. Those that we have the illusion of going through a death process with, they can still literally be just as solid as us right now, as like where we're at. We're just playing pretend like they can't be. And again, this self-work allows that to come through, like spirit, energy source, whatever you want to call it, our loved ones. They're getting a hell of a lot stronger for me, literally feeling more and more like actual hands tickling me and hugging me and massaging me, and like the experience is like being pulled out of my body, and spirit, which I'm one with, like helping me move around outside my body, and essentially helping me to let go of this illusion of limitation, unlimit myself, because I was never limited in the first place. So this is the result of the self-work that starts to kick in. Like I said, it's just the beginning. There's going to be more. It's huge, and it's beautiful, and it's loving, and it's abundance, and it's joy, and it's bliss. But this is a part of, like, this is what you're going to start getting. It takes work. It takes layers. But you really do not need to be in pain in any way ever again. And how do we get there? By the work I'm about to talk about. So not just me, there's others out there. It's just this is like getting to the real root of where our made up nightmare stems from, and that's what helps melt it away into a dream of truth. So all right, I'm gonna shut up and we can start the clip. Hey guys, how are you? So I've been getting an urge for a while now to make a video talking about what I mean when I say do your mental cleanup, go within, do your mental cleanup, do your inner work, do your thought work, all that stuff. I've been having a prompt to talk about that for a little while, and then I actually had, after I started getting that prompt, I had a couple people actually ask me specifically if I could explain this stuff. And I'm pretty sure I have in other videos and posts on Facebook and social media and whatnot, but that's okay. I don't mind explaining again. Plus, it's good reminders for me of what I need to be doing. Plus, because of where I'm at right now, they're wanting me to walk through the process. We, which I'm one with, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, wants me to walk through this process while I'm feeling it, to help give an example of what I'm talking about. So that's what we're going to do. And so first and foremost with this, I'm gonna talk about for a moment the results of, like, some of the results, because I know this is just the beginning of it. Like, there's going to be more, and it's going to be amazing and beautiful and huge at the same time. I have started allowing some of these results to come online from this work, so I'm going to talk about that first. I'm going to talk about why it's really important so the first step is, and then I'm going to go into the first step, which is let yourself fully feel. So why is this crucial and important to do this self-work, and what are the results? Because the work that I'm talking about, I'm not the only one who talks about it. It's not a formula that's come from me and I'm the be-all end-all with all the answers. Like, that's not the point in what I'm saying when I explain it this way. it's just, and again, it's not saying that other things are not helpful, because the truth of the matter is everything is helpful. Okay? Everything is helpful. That being said, a lot of stuff can also just be a temporary band-aid solution, which again isn't bad, isn't wrong. It is just a temporary boost that can be helpful, and because everything is helpful, it's just not getting down to the root of the problem, even though problem is not quite the right word. The root of the reasoning, that's probably a better word. A word is a word is a word. It's the intentioning behind it. But just for, just for whatever, I'm just going to use the word reasoning. It gets down to the reasoning as to why we're clinging onto this stuff, and it melts that. Oh, and it melts these illusions away. So, So it's really important that we do this mental cleanup, because that is what is actually getting to the root of this stuff, and it is working, melting it away. If you don't want to and you want to keep playing pretend with this stuff, that's totally cool too. If that's your journey and you want to play pretend with this stuff, totally cool. This is for those who are in that space where I very much am, where I recognize, and I'm going to get into this. This is going to be the part of the results, the self-work that are kicking in. I've come to realize that I've never needed to be in pain, and I never need to be in pain again. And when I say pain, yes, I mean physical, but I also mean very much emotional, like loneliness, sadness, depression, misery, anger, jealousy, all of that stuff gone. Never need to feel that, and instead feel calm, peace, neutrality, happiness, joy, laughter, euphoria, bliss, all of that. So this is for those who are ready to let go of the ego lie beliefs and let go of the ego lie gameplay or simulation or dream or nightmare, whatever works for you that you want to label it, and allow what's actually real to take over. Step into what we truly are. Allow New Earth Online. Allow Christ-like consciousness. Whatever you want to label it, this is for those who are wanting this space. Because if you're not wanting this right now, that's totally cool. You want to keep playing pretend? Totally cool. Nothing wrong with that. That's your role. That's your journey. Thank you. I honor you for that. You're playing a role. I'm asking you to. Namaste. Totally cool. So if you're in that space where you're ready to let this stuff go and you're ready to move on and up, and you don't want to be in pain anymore, not that you're judging pain, because again, pain's not bad. It's a very useful pretend tool, but do we need it? And if you're in that space of, I don't want to be miserable anymore, I'm done with it, I'm ready to just be happy. Not that it's bad being miserable, but am I done with it because it just doesn't feel good? Absolutely. Then this is for you. So why this is so crucial is because, again, everything that we navigate through is a metaphor reflecting what we're clinging to from believing within ourself. And it's either going to be lies from ego, shadow, illusion, fear, false evidence appearing real, that oneself is making up and then choosing to believe in, or it's going to be truth, like thoughts from truth, spirit, love, source, God, whatever you want to label it. And all that stuff that falls under that is going to be like unity, oneness, love, happiness, joy, abundance, equality, like no hierarchy, all of that stuff. The ego lies are going to be separation, pain, grief, loss, death, sickness, the ability to get hurt, the ability to hurt others, hierarchy, one's a starseed, one's not, one's a light worker, one's not, some are chosen ones, some are not, some are archangels, some aren't, some are starseeds, some aren't. Those are also ego lies. Some have spirit team, like one has one spirit team versus another. That's tapping into a little bit of truth, because spirit teams are nothing but love. However, it's still in a sense an ego lie game, because there is no separate team spirit from one person to another. And plus, you're not separate from your spirit team. You are your spirit team. And guess what? You're also God's source. All of it is a pretend game until you zoom furthest out and go, it's all one, we're all love, we're all home now, we're playing pretend like we're not, we're beyond the labels, beyond the definitions, beyond the word I, like it's beyond what we're even able to fully comprehend right now, and like the mechanics of it. However, within our human words and whatnot, it is the absolute base truth of this is everything is one word you can put on it is God, love, absolutely, source, all that. It's nothing but love, and anyone who started tapping into this can feel that. So When we cling to our ego lies, we project that out and have it reflect back at us, and we navigate through our own made up nightmare. When we cling to truth, love, source, all of that, we project that out and have that reflect back at us, and we navigate through a dream of truth. And then we eventually let this all go, and we just be what we actually truly are and see that none of this is even actually happening. We're completely unaffected by it. We're completely untouched by it. And then we laugh and laugh and laugh because we remember and see that we were playing pretend and we were taking it so seriously and we never needed to, and all that stuff. So with all that being said, this is why it's really important and crucial to do this work, because we literally, what we navigate through is coming from within. What we're clinging to within, it is literally projected hologram. That's why when you try to reach out to others to fulfill your happiness and peace and joy and love and all that, it's, when I say it's fruitless, it just means, again, everything is helpful, and yes, you'll get a boost, but eventually you drop again. When you allow this within yourself, because that's your true state of being and what all is, when you allow that within, then you project that out, allow it to reflect back at you. That's what you're navigating through. It's always an up. There's always goodness without opposition. Like I said, I'm done with being in pain, and this is what I'm allowing to start bring online. So what's the first step of this? You gotta fucking fully feel it. Completely embrace where you're at. When I talk about doing this work, it's really important that it's heard when I say you have to fully feel it, because I am not in any way trying to tell people to bypass this stuff. You can't bypass where you're playing pretend at. You have to fully embrace where you're playing pretend as a human and as this character and where you're at, all that stuff at the same time. You also need to fully feel the feelings that you're feeling and embrace the thoughts that you're having. So it's a bit harder to see. Oh, you can kind of see it the way the light just kind of shifted. You can see on this side, there's like right here, you can see this lump right here. It's not as prominent. It's gone down on this side. There's a tiny one right here. It used to be like all up in here as well, but it's just gone into this little space right here, and it's small. But in here, there's like a big lump in here, and I've seen a specialist over this, which I'll still utilize doctors. I'm still playing with illusion of sometimes I need to see a doctor. And I know, again, I've explained this before online as well, but all this is, it's the tear ducts or glands or whatever they're called up in here that are just so swollen, inflamed, because I have cried so much over the past like 3-4 years. Because it's really important to let yourself feel it and let yourself release. You have to let yourself feel it. Whatever resists persists. Running from it is just going to make it stronger until it explodes in your face and you face it one way or the other. So you have to embrace where you're at, fully feel it, embrace where you're at, let yourself cry, let yourself be angry, let yourself fucking rage. I'm not saying go and rage at other people. I personally have had my moments in this process where in my apartment have I yelled and snapped and swore because of the sound and the shit that I've had to deal with in this. Yes, I won't deny that. I'm pretty sure the people above me are not fans of me. And I'm not laughing going because haha, they don't like me. I'm embarrassed right now because I do feel bad. I'm working on the guilt for that, remembering no wrong's being done, including with me. That being said, I'm also not going to purposely be a shit disturber. When I have those snapping moments, yes, I let myself fully feel. I also know I don't need to be yelling and swearing, looking up at the ceiling, yelling about, stop pounding your fucking feet, That is something I do feel guilty over, that I've had those moments. I've always tried to not do that. That being said, I'm embracing also where I'm at, going, I have had issues with controlling myself over that. And I cannot deny that. So I need to keep working on that, but then also do my mental cleanup on where I'm feeling guilty and beating myself up over it. So, and again, I don't want to deny to you guys the fact that I do have shit. I have my moments. Can I be a bitch? Yeah. But do I like being that way? No. Is that my intention to actually ever hurt somebody or be a bitch? No. So if you're really angry, you need to fucking snap. I'm not saying go out and yell at other people. When I get really angry and I let it flare up, it is in my own space, and I really do try not to direct it even to the people above me as best I can, because I do recognize recognize what this is, and I'm working really, really hard on melting that away, and I'm making progress, and I'm actually quite proud of myself. Pride is kind of an ego thing as well, but I do need to give myself credit for the progress I've made, and I am making strides. So you have to fully feel where you're at. I'm not saying go out and purposely be a shit disturber and like snap on other people around you. No, but in your space, like let yourself feel it. Let yourself cry. Let yourself be angry. Like pound on your fucking pillows with your fists, or, you know, take eggs and chuck them at a tree if you need to, or, you know, like let yourself release, let yourself cry. You have to fully embrace where you're at. If you're in a position where, like for me, I live in this little tiny apartment, and I'm in a space of, I'm in an ego belief of how am I ever going to get the hell out of this place, because I'll never be able to afford anything more than this. I know the truth of what this is, and I do my mental cleanup on that. At the same time, I don't deny that this is where I'm playing pretend at, that I am living in this situation right now, in this pretend game. And I do fully let myself embrace the fact that I do feel scared and, you know, kind of trapped about being in this place. But then I do my mental cleanup on it. So what am I talking about with the mental cleanup? So you let yourself fully feel and embrace where you're at, but then there's also a space to let it go. So, so how do we let this go? This is where I just burped a little bit. I'm sorry. The mental cleanup, and excuse me. This is where more like the mental cleanup work kicks in, as in like letting yourself feel and release is part of the mental cleanup. But what's the next step of this? So this is where I talk about, so you can do it in various forms. The whole point in what I'm about to say is it's just metaphors of essentially what I'm doing with these is I am surrendering these ego lie beliefs and the ego lie feelings to what I truly am, God's source, and allowing that to take over. That's all this is. So you can do it in whatever form naturally works for you. You know, if the visual, a friend of mine said that a visual for them, I think what they said for them, they have the thought and feeling in their hand, and they crumple it up in a piece of paper and disintegrate it like that, and let it go into the light that way. And they're like, is that okay if I do it like that instead of the way you're saying? Absolutely. It doesn't matter the form that this comes in. Even if you struggle to do visuals, you can still give it away just by speaking it or thinking it. The intention is what matters. Okay. So what I do is I have done this in various forms, and that's just it. I've done this in various forms before myself. I've done it where I've thrown, now when I say like when I say I have visuals of dark energy that I'm giving away, it's not that I'm like there's actually dark energy or negative energy. That's not what that is. It's, for me, that's a representation, a metaphor of my ego, shadow, fear, illusions that I am giving away. That's all that is. It's not that it's negative. It's not that it's dark. It's not that it's evil. It's just that's what my visual metaphor of that is, what looks like dark looking energy. So I've done it where like I've thrown balls of dark energy into Eric, Archangel Uriel's chest along with my other spirit team, throwing it up into the light. You know, like it's come very much often in forms of dark ball of energy. Where I've been at lately is it's for some reason a yellow frisbee now that I throw to Eric. Now I'm also doing signs, like holding signs and planting them in the ground. And then the other night it happened to be swords and daggers that I was planting in the ground. Cool. Hang on. So what I do is after I let myself feel it, and when I'm ready to do this, I will close my eyes, and I tend to be standing in a field. It's not very detailed. It's just grass, and I know there's blue skies. There's trees around that have been planted from, you know, I'm planting my shit in the ground, and I've allowed trees to bloom from that, you know. And so I'm just standing there, and with the frisbee, you know, so, okay, so like I was saying, right now I was in a space of not feeling as good. I've actually started to come back up again as I've been talking about this, which would make sense because I'm not only just talking about where I'm at with the illusion, but I'm also giving out reminders of truth, which is helping me tap into what I truly am. So it makes sense that I'm starting to pull back up again. So with that, I was in a space, and I can actually kind of feel it now a little bit still. So right now, because I can feel a little bit of that in my chest at the moment, and I'm just, okay, sadness. So I feel sad, And the thought that goes along, one thought that goes along with this, I feel sad because, okay, so where my mind is going to is, I feel lonely, my life sucks. I feel lonely because I am alone, my life sucks, and I feel trapped, and it's starting to spin. It's really important that, yes, we go through all those thoughts, but it's really important to stop right at the very first one. I feel sad because my life sucks. Stop right there. Because the further you go, like, yes, we need to go through all the other thoughts too, but the further you go with that, the more you have to work to turn back toward what you truly are and anchor onto that. So you want to stop with the very first base thought, my life sucks. So the feeling, so I'm turning to Eric, Archangel Uriel, my spirit team source, whatever you want to label it. And I'm saying, I'm believing ego lies. I feel sad, and the thought that goes along with that is my life sucks. And I'm throwing him the frisbee. And then because I'm giving an example of what I'm doing, I'm also, just to explain, so not only did I just throw him a frisbee, but then I also, it's in the form of a dagger. It's actually kind of, it's funny, I have it, it's kind of in the form of a dagger, but it's in the form of a dagger, but then there's also like a sign that's like, it's like the top of the dagger like turns into a sign. So it's a mix of both, and that's okay. If your visuals get a little wonky like that, that's okay too. It doesn't matter. It's what matters is, again, the intention and what it represents, right? So I'm stabbing that in the ground. And that's actually kind of cool. That was easy for me to jump back and put my hands up in the air. And I'm in that perception doing it, which is tapping into more of what I truly am. It's easy to let it go. And I'm seeing the version of myself, which most of the time, so this is the second time now, the last time I did this, that the version of me jumping up, that was where I'm, through the eyes I'm looking at. I'm jumping up, I'm looking away, looking at it, my hands up free, it's easy, light to let it go. I'm seeing a version of myself, which is normally who I'm in that perspective, where I'm still like crouched on the ground, holding on to this sign, seeing myself jumping up away, and it's light and easy, and I call that her. And I'm me, the one holding on, like still holding on to it in the ground. So I'm struggling to let it go. I've started to, but then I'm struggling to fully let it go. I've had a switch recently where now apparently the version of me that's where it's easy to let go, I'm in that space. So that's really cool. So that's what I've done. So I've implanted that in the ground. I've thrown him the frisbee, and he's caught it. If you're ever in a visual where, like, because sometimes it's also like, you know, it's like a ball, like times recently, it ended up being a ball of, it actually ended up being a ball of light, which is kind of funny, because it's, even though it was light, it was still representing, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's, again, the intention behind it. And it was the light was a little off from the rest of like the source light that I was surrounded in. So there was still a slight difference, but it was still coming in the form of light. But again, though, the truth is everything is love, right? So I was just masking it with an ego lie, which is why the light looks a little off. So, and there's times, so if I'm throwing the ball of this illusion to Eric's spirit, and like sometimes I'll get caught in a loop where, you know, he keeps throwing it back at me, but I know it's because I'm struggling to let it go. So I'm essentially, you know, getting him to throw it back at me. It's up to me to fully allow it. And then if I'm really struggling, if I'm really struggling with letting something go, and I'm really wanting to like, with the sword stuff, and the sign stuff, if I've just implanted the ground, I'm in a space where, you know what, I'm starting to let it go. We'll just leave it there for now and we'll readdress it again. With the ball thing, that one is a bit more of a, I'm caught in a loop and I'm struggling to let it go. And then that's when I'll step up with the acknowledgement that I'm technically asking myself to help myself, because we are one and we're not separate. I will then say to Eric, spirit source, help me, I'm having trouble letting this go. And then because I've allowed that was again me saying I'm surrendering this to you, then they can take it and, you know, toss it up in the basket, and it dissolves into the light, or roll it into the light, or whatever. So that part is the surrendering of it, the letting it go. Then what I do is I remind myself of truth. So I sit there and I'll say things like, help me see them as I see thyself. All things work together for good. I am one with them and together, and we are one with God, love, source. I am one with God, love, source. All the only thing real is love. What looks like things falling apart are things coming together. Everything is working for me, not against me. This is a dream I'm making up. You know, I'll sit there and I'll remind myself of these truths. And then if I need to, I'll go back And I'll either repeat the same thought that I just gave away because I'm still feeling it, I'm feeling the emotions with it, or I've got another feeling that goes with it. Or if that was enough to let that go, then I can move on to the next thought or feeling. Or sometimes that was enough for me and I don't feel like doing more, or it feels like too much to do more. So then I'm just like, okay, that's enough for now, and I'll readdress stuff at another now. So that's when I talk about doing the mental cleanup, that's what I'm talking about. Sorry. When I'm doing the mental cleanup, that's what I'm talking about. It's letting yourself fully feel it completely, embracing where you're at completely, then acknowledging and acknowledging the feeling that you're having and the thought that goes along with it, giving it away to a representation of what you truly are, and then sitting with truth for a moment and working on anchoring onto that, and then repeat if necessary. So there you go. That's what I'm talking about when I say mental cleanup, doing your inner work, doing your thought work, doing your mental cleanup, going within and doing that. That's what I'm talking about right there. So I hope that's helpful. And like I said, it takes, the thing is though, guys, this takes work and it takes layers. Like this is within my illusion perception right now, this is a type of work that not a whole lot of people do, especially not on the basis that like someone like myself is doing. I'm not saying I'm the only one, and I'm not better than anyone. I'm just saying, because it does take a lot of work, and it does take a lot of stepping up and taking responsibility, pulling up your bootstraps and going, I am in complete control of what I think, feel, say, do, believe. Like no one external has that ability to control of me. This is me and my dream. And it can be a hard pill to swallow when you take a look at your whole life and you take responsibility, because everything, it really is, it's stepping up, because this is another part of it too, is stepping up and accepting that this is a dream that I'm making up. That there is nothing and no one outside of myself, and nothing and no one outside of myself has any power or meaning until I choose to give it as such. That it's all energy energy that I'm one with, that's playing roles that I'm asking into, that everything I navigate through, I'm choosing to navigate through that, because it's all reflecting what I'm choosing to cling to within, and it's all lessons and it's all helpful. And once I learn my lessons, then those loops will eventually melt away. Those loops do melt away as I learn my lessons, but the lessons will keep repeating in whatever form until I fully let this stuff go. So it's, for an example, with people who do like, say, energy cleansing or energy healing, or like all that kind of other stuff. And then they'll say, that cured my illness. Okay, that's great. But do you get sick in other ways? Do you still feel pain? Do you still see people in the world who get sick? Because I know I do. That being said, so that's the point, because there's still a belief there that we can get sick and we can be in pain. With me, obviously, I am still clinging to that ego line belief, because I still play with the illusion of I can be in pain. When I look out in the world, I see people who get sick. I have family members who have told me that they're sick this past week or so. I know I'm still clinging on to this stuff. With that being said, though, the results of this work is starting to kick in. I have my moments where I'm able to take away my own headaches, where I'm able to take away the pain of burning myself accidentally, or, itchy skin because of a rash or a hive, or allergic reaction, more so that I'm trying to, because that's what it's more like, allergy stuff that kicks in with my itchy skin. So that's starting to melt away. Like I said, the not good feelings being sucked out of me. Oh my God. And replace feeling calm, peace, neutrality, happiness, joy. That's just amazing. It is so cool. And I'm so thankful for that. And again, though, that's been like hard work that I've got to this point, but I still have work to do. I'm not going to deny that. Clearly, since I was just in a space of not feeling good, feeling sad, That being said, though, it does. I promise, you guys, this stuff is what works. Like, you really, like, it's not just this, oh, I don't feel sick anymore from this. It's like, holy shit. I can't. I have to fight to cling on to not feeling good. And then that's really cool too, because then it really helps you click into, oh, wait, I do choose to be miserable because it's being sucked out of me and I'm fighting to hold on to it. What the fuck am I doing? You know? And then I need to work on not judging myself. So, and that's it too. Work on not judging yourself. Be gentle. One now by one now. You can also do this. You can do it super quickly too. As in, you know, if you're out and about during the day and it's too much for you to do that full process, you know, just work on being self-aware. And the moment you realize you're having an ego lie thought or feeling, you can do is simply, and it can be so quick in your head, like it does even saying it out loud. It can be even quicker than this, saying, turning to spirit, source, whatever you want to label it, and just saying, I'm believing lies from ego. Take this, clean it up for me, replace it with truth. I'm willing to allow what's real to take over. And that can be such a quick blurb in your head. Again, it's the intention that matters. And intention, being aware, accepting where you're at, being willing to give it away, surrendering, you know, letting yourself go into the natural flow, all of that stuff. So I hope this is helpful. This is literally the process that I've done. I started off in my awakening with paying for long distance energy healing and people clearing out portals around me, and, you know, like doing like, and I would like burn sage and do oil stuff, even with like the light code activations, like the light language activation video that I did the other day. Even with that, I recognize my foot just got tickled. Thank you. That's confirmation on what I'm about to say. Even with the light language activation, that wasn't, I'm not activating you guys in any way when you listen to that. When I receive something like that for myself, it's not that all of a sudden something outside of myself is activating me. This stuff's already here. It's just a matter of unblocking, letting myself unblock, letting myself stop resisting. And things like the light language activation, it's starting to just tap into and allow more of what's actually here to shine through. And I'm asking for help with my words. It helps with a leveling up in a sense. And again, it's not that there's different levels. There's only one real dimension, real vibration, real reality, real frequency, that of God, source, home. Just while I'm playing pretend with this rabbit hole that I'm pretending to climb out of, it can help with a leveling up. With that being said, because we're playing pretend with this stuff, thank you. Okay, so it's like yourself, your true self talking to yourself, giving you a reminder of what this is, and what you truly are within goes, oh yeah, okay, I'm ready to remember now, and you let yourself remember. Thank you. That was a good way to put it. So it's not that, you know, anyone outside of yourself is activating you in any way. You're already there. It's just different forms of how you allow this through. So, you know, I've done like all this stuff with like oils and burning sage and energy clearing and all that. And it was all, honestly, that first year of my awakening was fucking crazy. Like, there are certain groups on here that might still have old emails and messages from me, and if people suddenly go, this girl's fucking nuts and she sounds insane and she even sounds a little scary, I get that. But I was lost in ego, and I had no proper guidance to show me what this was. Yes, I had spirit, but because I was so caught up in ego lies, I was completely blocking what spirit was saying until I had someone come in my life and give me a click in on stuff that I already kind of knew, but it gave me a deeper click in that changed everything. And I go, hang on a second, energy follows thought. That means everything external is playing as I'm allowing it. The thoughts that I'm believing and I'm projecting out, and energy's playing as I'm allowing it to that way. Okay. And that's what changed everything, because then I started doing my actual work on myself and everything changed. When I interact with spirit and the galactics, it doesn't matter who or what form it is, it's always loving. And if there's something coming through that's making me feel scared, I do my mental cleanup on it, and I remind myself that we're all one and it's all love, and it stops being scary because I'm allowing, and when I stop resisting as well. And why? Because I'm allowing energy to play that way. So when I stop resisting and when I do my mental cleanup, it switches into truth, because I've let that illusion go. I've let that blanket of illusion, that veil of illusion, evil is just the veil of illusion we choose to put over top of truth. I let that go, and then all of a sudden, bam, I get what's actually here, which is love. So this is how it is. You know, it's this is the work that I've been putting in for the past 3-4 years that has allowed me into this space. Like I said, not good feelings being sucked out of me. My ability to think negative is starting to melt away. Spirit is getting so much stronger. Oh my God. It's like I can't even properly express, like literally, like when I'm being held and massaged and tickled, it's like actual fucking hands. Like, you know, even just how I'm being helped, being Eric is helping me to, you know, which is again me helping myself to like learn how to release from my body, you know, like unlimit myself from my body, because I'm not limited to this and I never have been. I'm playing pretend like I'm not. So I'm literally in spaces where it's a mix of this and the astral, and I literally can't tell which, but it's this is the astral. It's all connected. It's all the same. Where I'm waking up and I'm literally I'm being pulled from my body in different ways. I'm being moved around and my body's laying still. You know, this stuff is kicked in, particularly in the past few months, particularly in the past year, particularly in the past few months. But again, it's because I'm allowing this. I've worked really hard to get to this point. So it takes work, it takes layers, but it does work. And this is the work that I'm talking about. This is what gets to the real root of where we're clinging to our illusions and why we are, and we get to self-work on it. The deepest rooted illusions, you know, are it really stems down to, because you'll go further, you'll start with the more, you know, human character type stuff, and then you'll get deeper and deeper into going, because the real deep rooted stuff is I'm God and I played it like this. I don't deserve to have the limitlessness that I have, and also being afraid of being punished for playing with this illusion, being afraid of being punished for pretending to separate from God, you know, believing that I'm not actually God, believing that I don't deserve to be God. You know, it's like there's these believing that God is someone or something that's angry and above me. You know, these are the deep rooted stuff. So you'll eventually get down to those layers as well, and that's where you're really going to start getting to the real root of this stuff. But this is why it's important to do this work, because everything we navigate through comes from what we're believing within here. So when you do this work, you let that switch and you allow its real to take over, and that's where the real miracles kick in, because the perception change kicks in, and then you become at peace no matter what, and then you feel happiness and joy, and that's what you truly are, and that's what you get to be, and then that's what you eventually navigate through, and that's all there is. So there we go. So anyway, I hope this is helpful, and I hope this answers your question. If you guys need any more clarification on this stuff, let me know. I will happily keep talking about it. And yeah, and as always, these are reminders for myself, because I acknowledge this is a dream I'm making up, and there is no one outside of myself. It's just myself and God, and I am God, and I'm working on not playing pretend anymore. And thank you to all, because you guys are helping me to help myself remember what this is, wake up, and stop playing pretend, stop trying to hide from all of you and what I truly am. I'm home now, and I'm getting closer to not playing pretend like I am. So thank you. So welcome home to me, and to all of you also, welcome home. We're doing it. I love you guys. We're already home, okay? Thank you for everything, and as always, have a wonderful now.